Hi everybody, I'm Marla with 9Health, and we've got a bunch of good guests with us today, including Koji the dog. Smile, Koji. We are here at the VCA Southeast Animal Hospital. We have Dr. Agamas, the medical director. We're going to talk a little bit about pet safety in the summer. So all month long we've been talking about summer safety for you and your pets. So we talked about some skin safety in the sun bus. We talked about your eyes. And we think it's all month long, it's UV Safety Month, and so we're going to talk a little bit about the pets in a minute, and we're going to get to that. But first I want to introduce Alex Andrews, our Volunteer Engagement Director, and it's coming up on health fair season for the fall, and you talk a lot about volunteers and how important they are to 9Health. So tell us a little bit about kind of what opportunities are available.
For sure. So on August 5th, we're going to open up our new volunteer management system for you guys. If you're a returning 9Health Fair volunteer, your account may look a little bit different, just so you know. We do need both non-medical and medical volunteers. It's essential.
Okay. So both medical, non-medical, important.
Yeah, can't run smoothly without both of them. So if you guys sign up, you're going to have to fill out your new volunteer profile because we have a new system, but the volunteer engagement team is there to help and support them through that the whole way. So we're excited for you guys to see it. I think you're going to be able to
great.
like it.
And we have 26 fall fairs, so more than usual. And so does that mean we need more than usual volunteers?
Yes, we will need more. We have quite a few new sites. Some sites are running at night. We have sites that are running smack dab in the middle of the day. So we have some different schedules and, as you said, a bigger season. So definitely means more volunteers.
Okay, great. And you guys are gearing up for that with a new website, so that's awesome.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you again in a minute. We're going to turn to Dr. Agamas and talk a little bit about pet safety. Dr. Agamas, tell us why summer it's so important to pay attention to your pet and their safety.
Things change in the summer versus winter. The summer is a great time to be outside in the outdoors with your pets. And with the heat and the sun and the bugs out there, it just brings on a little more risk, and you're exposed more to these things.
Okay, so what do we need to do? What do we need to be mindful of so that we can keep our pets safe? Because look at Koji, he's so cute. We wouldn't want anything bad to happen to him.
As they come. Yes, they do. So there's a bunch of things you can definitely talk to your veterinarian about, but things that come to mind right off the bat are really being cognizant of the heat. For example, cars and dogs don't go well together if you leave them alone. That's a big thing. Heat stroke is a big issue. We're seeing more and more of that in this busy world of ours where you just think you have those few minutes, you can run into the store and come out, and those few minutes can be huge. You can increase temperatures by 20 degrees in a car. So if it's 70 degrees, imagine if you're 10 minutes, 15 minutes goes by. So heat stroke is a big danger.
Now, even if the windows are down in a car?
Doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
They've actually done interesting studies on that, and it's dangerous.
Okay.
I would definitely avoid that. As an aside, too, I'm sure everyone's aware of distracted driving. And one of the big issues is having a loose pet in the car, and more, even for me, the concept of restraining your pet in a car is becoming important for safety.
Okay.
So think
Koji doesn't get restrained in the car, so maybe
Something
I should
to think
consider
about.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for all of us. That's kind of a new concept coming on.
It is, well, but for a long time we didn't put our children in seatbelts.
There you go. It's the same kind of evolution of ideas.
Okay.
Other things to think about too with the summer is making sure there's good shade and water. There's a big deal, even when you're taking walks, take water, but even in your backyard, offer plenty of water and make sure there's shade.
Okay.
It gets very hot, and young dogs will dehydrate very quickly and not realize they need to drink. So be cognizant of that. It's like little kids playing.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
And then another thing is when you're taking walks, try to time your walk. It gets so hot that especially concrete and asphalt can burn their paws. And dogs tend to heat up from down up, and heat stroke can also happen then, just in simple walks. So timing it early, late.
This one will walk when we're walking even in the evening from shade to shade.
There you go.
He will literally run from one shade spot to the next shade spot. So that's
smart.
how I know.
Yeah, very smart.
That's how I know it's hot. I'm like, oh, we better not walk very long.
Yeah.
How long, I mean, should you not take too long of walks or?
Here in Colorado, dogs can do 14ers, so they can be out there for hours. It depends on the conditioning.
Okay.
You know, how sensitive
He's not
they
very
are.
well conditioned.
Indoor babies like him, I mean, some individuals need booties or ointments that can help with the burning of the pads. But again, check with your veterinarian and see what your individual would need. So that's another thought to kind of be aware of. And another thing too is, believe it or not, sunburn and the concept of shaving. When you think of the heat, the first thing that comes to mind is just, you know, shaving. And
sure,
dogs,
less hair, then you're going to be cooler. Is that not right?
That's not right. The fur is a little different. They're designed to stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
Really?
The way the hair coat's designed. So if you shave a lot of those hairs, you'll run into those risks. So you need to check with your groomer to make sure you have a good strategy and plan if you're concerned about the heat. Sometimes you could do strategic shaving, like on the belly, if it's a real problem, so they can lay on their belly in the cool floor.
Yeah.
But you want to be very careful with sunburn in dogs, especially dogs with short hair.
Yeah,
or
like
very
Koji probably would be subject to
in
that.
Koji's case, I mean, the main thing would be the thin, like the belly, the ears, and the nose.
Okay.
Would be the areas you'd be more careful about, and especially the fair-skinned dogs. Like he's less at risk.
Okay.
So he's got like his own SPFs.
Because he's got a black nose.
Right. And he's got mascara. So some dogs need that. So in the belly, again, ears and nose, you might want to use some sunscreen. There's special sunscreen for pets.
Oh, really?
Because
so
they
you
don't
can't just use the regular sunscreen you use every day?
You got to be very careful. There's some ingredients in some sunscreens that will cause issues with. You can poison them.
Oh boy.
And cause irritation. So there's pet sunscreens you could order online, Amazon, or pet stores.
Okay.
They basically are fragrance-free and are the ingredients allow them to inadvertently lick without getting sick.
Okay.
In a pinch, if you're camping and you're noticing the sunburn, you know, sometimes baby sun lotion.
Okay, so if you want to get it for the humankind, it's the
you
baby
can use the
kind.
children and the baby kind.
Okay.
You've got to be very careful about the ingredients. Some
Okay.
of the ingredients are not good, so things just to remember offhand would be an ingredient called zinc oxide.
Don't
and
use
another
that.
one, don't use that.
Okay.
Make sure it doesn't have that. Or PABA, it's a para-aminobenzoic acid that can cause irritations as well.
So that's a good tip. Those are two
Yeah.
things you don't want in your dog
Don't want
sunscreen.
it,
You don't want
yeah.
zinc oxide, and you don't want PABA.
Right. But
Okay.
thinking sunscreen is bizarre, but some dogs actually need it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then,
That's
yep. A couple more things, and another thing is to remember. I call them the mysterious grassy knolls when you're walking, and the yards that be a little careful about them walking on other yards or unknown areas.
okay.
You know, if you have neighbors, you might know a lot about how they treat the yards, but fertilizers can actually cause problems.
Yeah.
Local irritations, upset tummies. Some landscaping, like mulch, some is made from cocoa beans, which can be toxic
Really?
to
Oh,
dogs.
that's right.
So just be very aware of those things.
And what are the
And,
symptoms we would look for distress from a dog? Like they can't really tell us that
Yeah,
they're upset
so,
or that they have the
You're
wrong
absolutely
sunscreen
right.
on.
You're absolutely right. And moms and dads know best. If something's off, you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
But watch for the obvious vomiting, diarrhea, kind of
Right.
wobbling,
Right.
a little weak. Sometimes, especially if heat's involved, they'll be drooling, a little
Okay.
more normal than you'd expect, and panting, and just acting off. So any questions at all, contact your veterinarian, and we can figure out if there's an issue there.
Right. Okay. So if they're panting, drooling, maybe they have some different kinds of behavior.
Yep.
So Koji,
Yep.
for example, will
Off, so
go
to speak.
lay in a far off corner or a bathroom,
Yep.
and
So
that's
he's-
not normal for
Right.
him.
He's a
so-
stoic boy, so he distances himself. So you want to watch. The only other thing really to remember is the classic parasites in the summer, the fleas,
Oh, yeah.
ticks, and all the bugs they bring in. So remember about protection, from that heartworm protection to flea and tick protection.
Are there certain vaccines or things that we should do for our pets in the summer?
Check with your local vet, but usually if you're on the core vaccines, you should be very well protected for Colorado bugs. And I'm talking by cores, rabies and distemper. There's also a vaccine called leptospirosis. There's a flu vaccine as well, so that's something that you see in Colorado.
We talk a lot about that for humans, so
Yes.
we should do that for our
Yeah,
pets too.
Definitely something to consider. Check with your vet.
Okay, good. And one last question, do dogs need more water in the summer? It seems like he drinks more.
Great question, and it's just like humans. So there is a relationship between the heat and activity and more water. Whether there's an actual larger volume or not, it could be. It's dependent on the dog, but make
Okay.
sure there's access to water at all times. And they get hot, they need more water, they cool down by panting.
Okay,
They don't sweat like we do.
so a certain amount of panting is normal.
Yeah, a little more in the summer, you would expect.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good, very good. Well, very good. You know, one of the things we always want to do is provide information to people that's objective and useful. And so, you know, you are, you know, an expert, you're a
I'm
medical
sorry about my
director,
phone.
and your phone's going off. So this is a good cue for us to talk to Alex. You can turn it off, it's fine. You know what, this is Facebook Live.
Okay,
And
good.
so people were used to all this stuff. So we got good music.
Yeah, I like that. That's my phone.
So Alex, come on back in. We're going to talk to Alex a little bit more about the volunteer needs here coming up in the fall. So are there specific areas where you guys could really use a lot of help?
Yeah, so we definitely need phlebotomists and those that are skilled at drawing blood on humans. What about you, Koji?
Not for you. He doesn't
yes.
like those words.
Right? So we're not going to go there, Koji. Not today, right? Maybe later. But if you have skills drawing blood, that is definitely something that is a heavy need.
Yes, always, right?
Yes, fall and spring, we need that. The majority of the things that are found, health conditions that are found at a 9 Health fair, are by getting your basic blood chemistry done. So those volunteers are helping people, you know, really, as we say, own your health. They can't know about what's going on inside without that skilled volunteer drawing their blood.
That's right.
So we definitely need phlebotomists, but when we look at the layout and the numbers of how many volunteers are needed, some of the time it's more non-medical because it really helps
Okay.
with the flow of everything. Registration, checkout, the exit surveys, because we want to get your, you know, the participants' feedback on how it's going. So there's so many little niches where non-medical volunteers are needed.
I think
Yeah.
that people don't realize that.
Right?
At 9 Health fairs, you think, oh, I have to be a medical professional to volunteer, but really, there's a lot of roles that really don't require medical training, but that require
That's true.
really good organization and really good people skills and things like that. So everyone could
You
really
hit it. Those
find
are
a.
the top two: being
That's
organized
She's
and
told me before.
connecting with people. Yeah, so if you just really love your community and you want to give back and help out, we need people with all different skills. We even have, you know, some youth in there sometimes. There's certain areas where if they're under 18, they're not allowed, like the lab area.
Right.
But we can have ambassadors and navigators and those younger folks doing the checkout surveys. They're totally fine to do that. So if it's something like mother-daughter
You could do
or your
families.
son, yeah,
Yeah.
you can come and do it as a group. If you want to do that through your work, we know a lot of workplaces are giving back, you know,
Yeah,
credit to their
That's
employees.
right. A
for
lot
going
of
out
ways to
volunteering.
volunteer, and
Completely.
guess what? It's good for your health, right?
That's right. Oh, there's so much research out there that shows that, you know, it boosts your endorphins and your happiness. You feel really good. Volunteers want to know that you've given an impact, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
when you come
and-
to health fair.
And these guys, I'm telling you, our volunteer engagement team will do anything to make your experience great. I mean, she showed up this morning here at the veterinarian's office, so you know that they're really committed, and you guys are awesome. So we're going to sign off here from VCA, Southeast Veterinary Hospital, and thank you, Dr. Gammas, again.
My pleasure.
You've been so helpful. If you guys have questions out there, feel free to continue to type them in, and we'll find some answers for you and do the research. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Health Happens.